So good morning mga ka-update. Ngayon po patuloy tayong mag-update sa mga legacy na ginagawa ng ating Pangulo, Bongbong Marcos Jr.
Welcome to Romis Update Channel.
So panoorin natin yung video mga ka-update, yung matalinong tugon ni Pangulong Bongbong Marcos sa kanyang mga interview.
How is the Philippines and India too, together, how would they manage global disruptions which are taking place, including the major disruptions on trade?
Wealth or affluence does not necessarily translate into peace. We must also have an eye to much more than just the building up our economy and making our people wealthier. Because the challenges that we face have very little to do with all of that. The Philippines, how we approach this problem is by really fostering alliances and partnerships, and on every level. The proper thing to do is to form these alliances, put together the coalition of like-minded states who share the same values, who adhere to international law, and who are committed to defending their territory and the exercise of their sovereign rights,
Which are extremely important both for India, Philippines, and the ASEAN. What are the positives that you see?
When supply lines completely dried up, and you could not get any of the products that you depended on by imports, and we were reminded that a large degree of self-sufficiency is necessary for every country, because suddenly we were confronted by the fact that the global economic system in which we had such confidence in, that it could face any crisis, it would remain robust and functioning, failed on a global level. We cannot depend on one supplier of anything. We cannot depend on one market. We really have to give ourselves more options.
Agility, I think, has been one of the great strengths of ASEAN and of most countries in the region. How do you see it evolving in the current global trade context?
This very, very rapid movement in terms of markets, in terms of supply chains, in terms of connectivity, all of the things that we have come to depend on so that our global economy continues to function. Luckily, that very fast-moving technology should also provide us the answers. AI should be able to do a lot of work that we had to do for ourselves. And hopefully, these powerful tools that we are developing will be able to help us in that regard.
So, what are the kinds of partnerships that companies, organizations in the Philippines are looking forward to forging with Indian companies in this aspect?
The technologies that India has developed to work in the digital space are world class, and we would like to bring that technology to the Philippines. In the case of the Philippines, it's not only a one-way exchange. We can serve as a hub for many of those operations that we are hoping India will bring to the Philippines, and hopefully take it to the level where we can say these investments that were brought in by India into the Philippines are now export industries for the Philippines.
So you see there are very strong synergies between India's Act East and ASEAN centrality.
This is what we're hoping to attain. We have to get to that point where that synergy is happening. India and the Philippines, 3.3 billion in trade is far too little. We have discovered many areas, and that at the very least need to be explored, and eventually, if it's worthwhile, need to be developed. So I'm very optimistic.
So do you think the current global disruption actually provides an opportunity for us to expand?
It's very much still blue sky, and in terms of the possibilities. The more we look, basically, the more we find. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that everything that we are looking at will be a resounding success. But if you can if you can make a success of a reasonable percentage of that, then we're on our way. That will amount to a great many jobs that will be created in the Philippines. That will be a great, a good amount of income for the Philippines.
How can middle powers actually again recenter a multilateral order and get it back on track? Is there how optimistic are you about it?
I'm the eternal optimist.
That's right.
Because if you lose that optimism, then you stop working. The only way for middle powers to assert themselves are through being allied together and speaking, and many states, many middle powers speaking with one voice. And if there are enough of us, then that voice will be loud enough to be listened to by everyone else in the world.
So may these partnerships grow and we move into a much better and more coherent world order with this momentum. I love your optimism, and I hope really all the best to you and all of us.